Alright, while Wolf is getting something to drink, we are having a quick look at what's going on in the early game of this match. At the top right, we have Value, the TSL player. He just took down SortOf in game number 1 on Ohana. Our Protoss has to do the same thing once more if he wants to advance here at the Korean qualifier for the Iron Squid tournament. Starting to the bottom left on Cloud Kingdom, we have his opponent. We have Puppet Master, which is of course only an AKA since we have SortOf currently in Korea. He's lettering it up on the Korean letter, and this is the account that he's using. So let's see how he is going to approach this match. So far we didn't see... It's a bit odd if I say he didn't play an aggressive style. I guess he was aggressive against the third base of Value, but it's not like he tried to pull something off in the early stages of the game. So that's basically the only thing that I was about to mention. Yeah, just forget what I said. He tried to be aggressive, but just in a bit of a weird way. Especially on Ohana, I don't like it too much when a Zerg player tries to go for this massive attack at the third base. It rarely works. I'm not sure if I've ever seen it work. Maybe like 2 or 3 times, but most of the time the Protoss player is able to defend. This is one of the main reasons why Protoss is choosing Ohana in the first place. So, right now, at the top right, we have once more this pylon on the low ground. He wants to go for his Forge Expand, of course. And this is the last map between them. So the winner is going to advance. He's going to face a Protoss player. I can't put my finger on it. I looked it up in the bracket earlier, but right now it slipped my mind. I don't know who exactly he's going to face. Well, I'm probably going to remember it very soon. But for Value, it's important to just block this hatch a little bit. You want to delay the expansion of your opponent. Then later on, you want to have this probe on the map so that you can scout. Especially the timing of the third is one thing that you are really interested in. And for Value, everything is just going well so far. He has the Nexus first, which has not been scouted yet because the Overlord is not in position on the high ground, so you can't really see what's going on here. But the probe might actually die. No, is able to sneak away last second possible, whereas the Forge has now been started and the pile on the low ground, the probe is here, could place down a gateway immediately, fully wall off if there's any problems at all. There are none though. Problems, of course, always indicating that there are Zerglings heading to the Protoss player space. Not the case in here. To the top right, we have still no gas in the main base, of course. He's just started his gateway and will, of course, start with the Cybernetics core. And then the big question arises: what are you gonna do? On a map like Cloud Kingdom, you can start with a Stargate. It's one of the builds that MC will nearly always choose on Cloud Kingdom. But also pushes with Immortals are strong on this map. You can definitely execute those. The third base, taking it, is a bit weird, a bit odd, because it's very exposed. There are 3 ways where you can attack it. And a lot of Zerg players will use this aggression to take down the third or take a huge advantage in the game. And I think that, for example, the Ling and Roach attack would have been so much more successful if the last game would have been played on Cloud Kingdom. Therefore, it's more likely that Value is trying to be a bit aggressive in the early game and is not immediately going for base number 3. There's the Cybernetics core now, whereas SortOf is taking a third base. A fact that is going to be scouted, as we have one probe heading right to the third hatch. That's what you want to know. As a Protoss player now, you have the information that you need. It would of course be just pure gold for him if he could also spot that in the main base there is no gas at all. But I don't think that he will be able to sneak in. And he agrees with me. He tries to move back. His probe was already spotted, and the Zergling is trying to take it down, but Value will be able to save it. Top right now, we have the +1 attack upgrade already being started. There's Cybernetics core, and let's see what the tech is going to be. Starts the pylon over here. Doesn't have the gas anyway, so right now he can't build anything. It's not like he can go for Stargate. It's most likely going to be Stargate, isn't it? If you place it down at the top. Just because of the pylon placement, if you want to hide something, usually to put it at the top right. Robo is rarely hidden in this position at this occasion. So, might be a Twilight Council build once more that he's going to use here. We're gonna find out. Right now he has the gas that he needs. Additional gateways have been built. And so far it looks like he's just going for a gateway attack. 3 additional gateways plus 1 attack upgrade, halfway done. 3 bases for the Puppet Master, who's going for the Roach one once again very early. It's one of the things that we've noticed already in game number 1. My Wolf is back.
I'm back.
With his hot 6.
I got my hot 6, I feel better now.
Yeah, you didn't really miss too much. A very uneventful game
It looks
so
kind
far.
of like a straight up 4 gateway pressure. He's making
Yeah.
his pylon down there now.
I was actually expecting him to start with his tech, but yeah, he's going for the pylon at the bottom, already there. And yes, we have a bit of 4-gate pressure, but SortOf looks ready.
Yeah, he's actually gonna have to cancel that pylon. That's unfortunate. He's got a probe already set to make his third base, but that was
He drones up heavily now in techs, and this third base, I don't like this on Cloud Kingdom. Do you? I always find it weird because it looks so exposed, and it is exposed. You need so many sentries to make this work in comparison to, let's say, Ohana in Toon Valley.
Yeah, and it's now like, I don't know, if he sees it, he can just turn on the aggression in a second, and he already sees it with the Overlord, so it's kind of desperate, but you know, his push was totally thwarted. He kind of messed it up, and so, you know, when you do that type of pressure, when you see links coming, or if you are going to show your zealot in your stock like that, you're going to make 2 pylons, because if you cancel like this, then you're basically just saying, well, I spent a ton of chrono energy on something that I'm now not using, and now I'm just going to desperately take a third base without a lot of units and try to warp in sentries.
SortOf is not putting on any aggression at all. He just decided to drone like a boss. He's pressing the D button and he's pressing it hard. He's nearly looking at 60 already. Is getting another macro hatch, and at the same time, Value is aiming for a Twilight Council again. His third base is about to be ready. The Overlord is still not. He still doesn't know that there is an Overlord, does he? No, that's just one patch in his base where he has no vision.
Yeah, it looks like it's pretty well practiced by SortOf the way he's got that there.
And there's already the 4th base. So very straightforward game by SortOf so far, going straight into this tech that you want, going for the 4th base, trying to get into the late game, not being aggressive at all. It's like both of them just agreeing to not be overly aggressive. Value was poking a little bit with the 4-gate, was having a quick look in there, but then realized that's not going to work, especially with this pylon that he had to cancel. That's of course always annoying.
You know, you kind of have 2 choices when your opponent takes a third base like this. You can either attack it, or you can take a 4th and tech. He's doing take a 4th and tech. With the passaging guns coming out here, and actually start his hive fairly soon as well, because there's no way for Value to really attack him. He doesn't even have blink yet. He's getting +2 now. His sentry count is basically all he's got. He doesn't have any real beef in his army.
The front gateways are not even morphed, so he's lacking a warp gates too. That could actually bite him in the ass later. Now he realizes it doesn't. Yeah, now he knows. Okay. There's a pylon at the bottom right that has just been placed down. Of course, he knows about the expansion by now with the probe that he snuck in. But right now, looking at 5 infestors being built, 75 harvesters. Hive tag, as you already said, should start very soon. He has the resources, or he will have in a few seconds. More and more drones. He really wants to go for a drone heavy game, wants to work up this bank to use it later. These roads are not going to do too much. I would be really surprised if they try to commit.
Well,
but killing the
rocks is one thing you can do. You gotta make sure he doesn't attack with his lings yet. Otherwise the cannon's gonna kill him. This is just a great way to annoy someone like Value. May even force an extra gateway to be made. Taking the gases first down here. Still no hive though, which I find to be a little bit strange. He definitely could have started that. He's spending his gas on other stuff right now, getting the 2 additional infestors out as well as 2/2.
He's getting a ton of gas. He has 8 gas now, and this will definitely be enable him to get a hive tech soon. He actually starts with the with the Spire first here. He's still remaining on lair.
I guess to just be safe with the corruptors before getting the hive.
If there are colossi, then you always want to have a few. But he starts with a hive tech as expected shortly after he is puts down his Spire. And look at it, immediately spying crawlers. He wants to be super safe here. No drop is gonna kill this Greater Spire. That's of course the first thing that every Protoss player aims for. If you are going for War Prism and you head into your opponent's main base, you see a Greater Spire that is unprotected, you are just bouncing in your chair. You're like, yeah, awesome. That's the first thing that I want to kill.
Yeah.
And Mothership will be one of the things that values highly in this game. He's going straight for the Starport here.
In game 1, he wasn't able to utilize it really well.
Yeah, game 1 was definitely a problem for him. I mean, this Daybreak game, he was really struggling a lot, but now he's up against SortOf on Cloud Kingdom, and SortOf is scared. He's going into the 30s. He's just so instantly he's pulling ahead in this game.
Yeah.
There's nothing like aggression. We don't have a War Prism with harass. We don't see this pylon being too useful.
I
It
think
hasn't been spotted yet, which is of course a pain, but still.
he may. Well, no, I thought he saw it because his lings went back, but he just looks like he's not. He's just warping a few zealots there. I think he may try to run into the third base at some point, but there's spine crawlers set up. Fleet Beacon has started out around the same time as the Greater Spire, so both players are just gearing up for that late game death ball type army situation.
A lone zealot in the base of the Zerg opponent, that's definitely too much. Yeah, the upgrades, once again, Greater Spire on its way, and it is just really annoying. Even the pylon has been spotted at the right side, so what exactly can Value do here? This is looking more like another Daybreak scenario.
Yeah, it definitely starts to look that way. I mean, he's gonna. The difference here is that the fourth base is a little bit tougher to defend even on this map, I feel, because on the other map, on Daybreak, you have that choke point the Zerg player has to break through, and you can have your concave on the outside while the Zerg tries to approach. But here, the Zerg player can approach from an area where he has the concave and he has high ground, he's on top of a ramp. He already has to cancel before the base is even up.
Yeah, he kills the pylon and he kills the cannon. So very fast, and this is of course throwing the attempts of getting a fourth base far back. Here comes the War Prism, and that will help him to be a bit aggressive. Another base at the bottom right, SortOf with 3,000 minerals already. He's just going all out here. He can just trade a few of his Zerglings, free up supply, go straight for the Broodlords. I feel like Inori needs to find something. If he goes for this, I don't even want to call it a straight up game, but if he goes for this style, he's going to lose this match, I feel. If not for a great Vortex with Archons. He needs an Archon toilet. If he doesn't pull this off, just look how many bases SortOf is building now. And SortOf showed us that he loves to just slowly put his spine crawlers forward and get into a position at the fourth of his opponent. I wouldn't be surprised if he sends out the queens to get more creep tumors now.
Something else he's doing once more here is getting the Carapace upgrades with Neural Parasite. I mean, he did both of those things. That's something that, obviously there was a time where people were like, well, is Neural Parasite ever even going to work? Are you actually going to be able to grab them or mothership with that? Now it seems to be kind of standard, but one thing, I really like is this Carapace upgrade. So many people neglect this. It makes it so much harder to actually target those Broodlords down, pick them off on the side when they're vulnerable. He went all the way up to +3 last time with that. And Value is, again, adding gateways here, but no additional infrastructure for air. He's going to be sticking with this composition.
I love that he's getting the gas at those bases. That he's just relying on gas, not trying to get too many minerals, but just adding hatch after hatch so that he trades basically minerals for gas. This is what you want to do. He will work up another gas bank that he can use for a tech switch. And right now, well, Value has to be careful. He is not facing spore crawlers, but still, this army is scary. The zealots at the bottom right, they are pretty awesome, but I don't really think that SortOf cares too much about
Yeah,
them.
he's got the base to the top with the gas, so this base at the bottom right was kind of like, well, if the base at the top left dies, I go there. Uh-oh, again. This time he's going to be stopped, I feel.
Yeah. This time there is no way for him to pull it off. Moving in with the queens, yes, there's going to be maybe a warp, but no. With the Zerglings now in position, it's not going to happen.
Kind of weird he didn't just try to fly that away and come back later. It would have been tough, but I mean, he could have maybe hidden the corner at least. That was kind of strange to me.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think he realized it a little bit too late, and then he saw that the Warpers would most likely die to the queens if he would move in again.
Plus a Corruptor could always go and find it later too.
Yeah.
But the hatchery at the bottom right is gone. Value's getting the base over here to the I guess we call it like 3 o'clock expansion. It is going to be spotted though. Once again, we saw this one sentry last game get owned, and now we're seeing it again.
Unlucky.
This time he saved it though.
Yeah, this time he saved it, at least for now. But the battle occurs at the next base here at the 4th, and this Nexus is in a bad position because the Broodlords are in the perfect spot.
And look, he's only got 3 of them up here at the front firing. The rest of them kind of spread to the side.
This is one of the things that Mana mentioned when he came to Korea. He said that most of the Korean Zergs just clump up their Broodlords, and that the European Zergs don't do this. And this is exactly what Value is facing. A European Zerg that does spread his Broodlords very well. Vortex is not going to be the answer.
This is going to be the end of that Nexus. He does have the Nexus to the right side, but even some roaches are trying to sneak into the natural.
Yeah, quite a lot of roaches. The Nexus by now is already dead and gone. you have still this one to the right side of the map that you can see on the mini-map, and this small roach attack is trying to get into the main. It's not really gonna happen, but maybe at the third a few units will die.
He just wants to remax the better units. He doesn't care about losing those roaches.
He doesn't know about the space to the right side. I think this is the only reason why SortOf didn't send a lot of roaches and ground units in general over to the third.
He could even fly with his brutes and do the same thing he did at the fourth.
Definitely. 6,000 minerals and still 2,200 gas. Wow, this guy's rich.
Yeah, look at the income here. I mean, it really shows. He's got value locked down here. Value has to try to find opening, but consistently SortOf has been spreading his broodlords, and it just goes to show that if you spread your broodlords, how does a Frost attack an army like this? It's very difficult. It feels awkward, you know. It's like you've got to take a risk with your mothership. Got to use warp prisms. You got to do something, because if you just sit there with your army like this, I mean, what are you doing? He's just sitting there. He can't do anything if he just wants to keep with his mothership. You might have to use recalls. You might have to send his army across the map and try to trade a hatchery and a recall when the broodlords come back. Something like that would be appropriate. Doing something like this, pick off creep tumors with your 4 zealots and your observer.
SortOf is actually giving him a very a lot of freedom, I would say. I actually expected SortOf to be, after the kill at the fourth, to be more aggressive, to move a little bit faster, to just apply more pressure, to go in. But he didn't do that, so he gives him a lot of freedom, which is not too significant given the defense that SortOf set up. But he really tries now to expand everywhere, even to the top left. Has to deal with the stalkers here, though, and they are certainly a problem.
The stalkers here are an annoyance, and I feel like SortOf, you can check his vision. I'm pretty sure he doesn't know about the hatchery. I mean, the Nexus is still the right side.
No, he has no idea.
He's very much focused on this one.
Which surprises me, given how meticulously he has scouted in the early game.
He puts some Archons in here. I don't really think any Broodlords got in there, though. Maybe like 3. A bunch of best turns will be in there. Actually that was about 5.
Yeah, that was quite a lot.
That was a nice catch there.
He's losing the Archons now, so the supply is a little bit lower for SortOf, but he still has 18 Broodlords.
Yeah. It's like, okay, maybe he lost a fourth of his Broodlords, but...
Look how carefully he's moving his Broodlords forward. Just a tiny little bit, then he goes for hold position again, making sure that they're spread out.
Look at that spread, that is insane. That's a Broodlord concave.
And he always goes for hold position. Nice attempt here, a nice position.
Yeah, the only thing that a spread is weak against is someone trying to pick off units on the edge where you're not all together. This is a really big annoyance still with those stalkers. He's trying to come in here and storm. Value. You know, this may be enough.
Yeah, Value is playing this quite well. There's an Archon toilet. I don't think there are too many units in there. We still have Broodlords outside of the Archon toilet. How many does he have? Both of them are still at nearly 200 supply.
I don't know about this. He blinks in again, and this time there's not any real infestor support.
He loses way too much. Wow, Value with such a nice micro here. His unit control was exceptional. Every time he moved in at an angle where he could pick up a Broodlord or 2, and now it takes quite some time for SortOf to rebuild this army.
Yeah, and these Broodlords that are morphing right here, morphing in a vulnerable spot. The Spineclaw is trying to protect them.
But still, with the Fungals on the Stalkers, he's taking down most of them. Look at how fast SortOf remaxes here with the Zerglings that he just started. If he... I can tell you one thing, Wolf, if he would know about this space and would have killed it, I think this game would be over. But right now, we still have Value in a position where he can take it, even though his bank is completely... Well, he has gas.
Both of them spent their banks very rapidly there. First SortOf did, and then Value did the same. Now his base has been spotted with some Zerglings to the right side, and he's actually going to send another group over there. There's so many cans in place that he's going to need more than Zerglings to take his base out. He's going to need those Broodlords over there as well. Even with all these Lings, the Storms are good. And he cannot kill his Nexus.
No. At least he knows about it, but you're right. He cannot take down the Nexus. There is no way. 16 Infestors. 9 Broodlords. That's what we are looking at.
13 Corruptors as well. And make sure that he can try to snipe the Colossi as well as the Mothership. And eventually he'll turn those into Broods. The Hatchery could just be sniped here. I don't know why he didn't consider that earlier. He's going to kill some drones instead.
They've done quite a lot of harvesters, but yes, there's already a transfuse because SortOf is well aware of what could happen here.
Maybe that's why he didn't try to snipe it, because he knew there was a queen ready that could just do that.
Yeah, maybe the queen already transfused like once, and that's why he tries to target down the harvesters now. The top left base has not been spotted. Funny as it is.
He's mining only minerals there, and this time he doesn't have the gas, the mineral bank to where mining gas would be more appropriate. It makes more sense to mine minerals in that top left. Looks like it's like he got a hint of it or something. I think he's going to try to make a Nexus up there, but he's going to find that there is a hatchery instead blocking him. There's a probe going up to the top left, so he sees it now.
SortOf is playing a pretty good game regardless. The thing is that he couldn't use the bank that he had earlier to just take down this army. The problem for him will be that the mothership is still on full HP, will have full energy, and the way that Value approached the last battle really showed that he knows where to put down this vortex, that even with a good Broodlord split he can pick those units off and get the perfect spot. So SortOf has to be very careful here. It's actually a very tense and cool match. Right now, both of them are on 2 mining bases. Just confirm that, especially now with the Stalkers taking the top left down.
Yeah, and he could, I really feel, try to commit to killing that hatchery at the bottom right. He's going to send a few more Stalkers to annoy it again. Actually, this time it's Zealots and an Archon. Oh, he may have done a Storm attack there with 2 Templar. We didn't see it, but
let's talk about the Harvest account that both of them killed. And total 20 kills for SortOf, 30 for Value. Oh, feedbacks. 1, 2. Nice. That was worth it. Really well done. Look at that. He's going for an exit at the bottom right. Both of them are just everywhere on the map now. I think we have another War Prism headed into the main. Yeah, there it is.
And there's a Queen again, but I don't think he'll take the War Prism out fast enough. 6 Zealots warp, and that's all the supply he has available.
The pathing is a big mistake. Yeah. The base here is down, and now SortOf is moving forward, and he will take this. It's going to be very, well, not the game, but the space. It's going to be very dangerous now against the Infested Terrans, against the Broodlords. Nice angle of attack. There comes the first Vortex, trying to move his units in.
The second one is really good.
Oh, wow. Archon Toilet Party. The Infestors are exposed.
So vulnerable here, and
oh
all
my
those
God.
Broodlords are dead.
Oh, shit. Oh wow, he lost 50 supply, and here comes the storm. Look at the supply drop here for SortOf. He drops below 100 in seconds. This time Value has the perfect vortex. He has the Archons, he moves them in, and the Archon Toilet finishes this game.
Yep. GG. What a sudden, I don't want to say anticlimactic, but just a sudden vortex that ended that game. It was like snap your fingers and GG. A lot of harassment going on by the Protoss player in the late game. You know, Value just really trying to attack him with those Stalkers to the south. He kept using the Warp Prism to be an annoyance. Whereas on the other hand, SortOf scouted that base so late. If he had known about it earlier, he would have been able to shut it down. That base was able to really pull Value back into the game.